So we are covering all the topics into the from the basic level to the advanced level. Okay, so let me introduce myself. Pawan Kumar. I have 13 years of experience into the IT, and right now I am working as an infrastructure lead full time, and here I am doing the freelancing of work. Okay, so before going into the topic, so I think let we go to some start from the scratch. Okay, so first of all, um, let me open the page. So first of all, what exactly the virtualization? Before going into the topic, so what is the virtualization? So that is a primary topic we need to be checking upon. So any idea, Ram? You have any idea?
Virtualization, basically we are using the virtualization for running the multiple VMs or multiple node in a single system.
Okay.
And it is applicable for not only then for creating the machines. We can create virtualized in network and network virtualization and the system virtualization. So basically main concept is like that within a particular hardware or run multiple instances.
Yeah. So if you go into the scratch of the thing, for example, when we coming to the starting of the environment, we have a physical servers.
Yeah.
That is we are calling as standalone servers. So basically the concept of the physical servers is that it is a basically kind of touchable format, nothing but we can directly work with them, and it is a standard one, not having portable and mobility. So basically we don't have the mobility, nothing but we have to access into the standard format only. And majorly the major issue is the resource utilizations. Resource means what? Basically it will come into the hard disk is nothing but the storage area, network, and the RAM. So these are the primary things which is taking the lead role into the system level, whether whatever it may be the cost. For example, sometime back we are having our physical laptops, nothing but we have desktops. So the major problem into right now also we have desktops, we have a laptops, and we are using the cloud environment. The problem into the physical environment is that if you want to make a consistency of the resources, if you want to utilize all the resources, it is not that much of easy. For example, let it be there is one company is having the physical servers. These are the physical servers the company is holding. So the problem here is that they want to expand the business. Whenever they are going to expand the business, let it be whatever the server they are having, that server will be having some sort of architecture. Let it be if you're going for the Windows means we are having the single core or dual core, or like i7, i5. So different levels of the versions are there. So at the time of they want to expand the things, the new hardware, the new requirement also need to be support to the existing hardware. That is one of the major challenging. Nothing but there is a issue with the hardware dependency. And the second thing is that downtime. They cannot able to maintain the things that much of easily. For example, we cannot control the downtime of the servers. Most of the times, whether they have the power outage, if they are having the any resource outage or any network outage, whatever it may be, everything will be the challenging only. So we need to keep on monitoring. And the second thing is that DR activities. What is the DR activities? Like in physical servers we are calling as clusters. So the concept of the clusters is that majorly we want to clone the existing environment and we are running the show. So there also, if you want to keep same set of the architecture, one more setup means again it will going to be extra fast. So that is the reason what exactly the people are going. There is a lot of dependency. Otherwise, leave it about the servers. We are having our laptop or we are having our desktop. For example, my desktop capacity is that, let it be, this is my desktop. My desktop capacity is that, let it be dual core only. Okay, 2 TB of hard disk. Okay, 16 GB of RAM. That is my hardware and my resources capacity. On top of that, what exactly I done? I installed the operating system. So the operating system, let it be, OS will be whether Windows or Linux or Ubuntu. So whichever the like operating system I install. On top of that, what I'm doing, the end user is accessing. End user is accessing the data. So one of the major challenging here is that, let it be, how much of the capacity it is. Okay, for example, what the end user is doing, just he is sending the one mail or he is just watching the movie. For example, the watching the movie is not this much of the resources needed. Or for example, if you're going with the banking environment. So in banking environment, okay, if you're checking the banking environment, entire 12 months, the entire 12 months, usually they are dividing 8 months. They need okay, 2 20 GB of hard disk and 4 GB of RAM is enough. Rest of the 4 months, especially January, February, March, April, May, these are the months is a kind of the peak months. So these 4 months, they need a capacity of minimum 1 TB of hard disk and 16 GB of RAM. So this is what they need. Let it be, I'm thinking that the staff is 10 members in a particular branch. So what exactly how the VMware and physical environment will help you out into the real time means, if you're going with a physical environment, so this bank is going for the digitalization. They want to start the business into the everything should be recorded by the electronic, means they want to use the computer. So this is a 8 months capacity, this is a 6 months. The problem here is that any financial sector or anyone, whether we also, always we are going with the higher capacity only. Okay, this is the capacity I am providing. Just leave it, and how much you need, you can take up that one only. For example, whether you are using for the watching the movie or you are using for the whatever may be the purpose, no need to bother. You can use for the same purpose. Leave it about the resources. For example, the 10 staff members are there. In this 10 staff members, you can consider as okay, manager, like help desk persons, and other one staff. For example, this help desk guy, simply they are entering into the one Excel. Just he is updating the logs into the one of the Excel. That is what his job it is. So one of the problem here is that all the members are, for this guy also I am giving the 1 TB of hard disk capacity of laptop or desktop. That is not the exactly the resource management. For example, for this 10 members only, they are not able to use the proper approach. So this resource validation is going to be failed, means they are not able to utilize. For example, simply if you are asking, if you want to make you purchase the one good mobile, let it be some 16 GB of RAM and a dual core and super camera capacity, okay, But the problem here is that, okay, all the capacities are there, everything is fine, you offer to your father or mother, your brother. The thing is that they are using the phone only for the calling purpose. They are not using for anything. Simply they are using for the calling purpose. They want to make a call, or just otherwise they want to receive the call. Calling purpose only they are using. They are not taking any picture. They are not browsing. They are not using WhatsApp. All the kind of the stuff they are not at all using. So where we will get the problem? The problem is that the particular mobile you purchased for, let it be 1 lakh. 1 lakh rupees, you purchased the particular mobile, but they are not using. Only for the calling purpose means within a 2000 or within a 5000, you may get a good mobile. So obviously what you will think of that, okay, they are not using, you are going to purchase how much of the capacity is there needed. So you are going to purchase little bit normal mobile, whether the 5001 or 2001 or whatever may be the capacity. Whatever the capacity they need, you are going to purchase and you are offering to them. Okay, so this is the capacity you are purchasing and you are offering to them. So the problem here is that the entire 98,000 is going to be saved for you, right? It will be useful for your financial aspect. You can plan it, or maybe you can use it into the somewhere that will be helpful for your career. So that is the reason resource utilization is a primary aspect into the company. Okay, so that is the reason what the people are doing. They come up with a virtualization concept. So the virtualization is what exactly they are doing. The virtualization is the kind of the concept. Let me add it here. So I'm going from the basics. Maybe you are aware of that also. Just you can bear with me. Okay, that would be helpful for you others also. Okay.
Okay.
So virtualization is nothing but majorly we are enhancing the resources. What are the resources? Like hardware, RAM, and network. These are the primary, right? Whenever you want to purchase any mobile, obviously based on your hardware capacity, based on your network, based on your RAM, okay, the mobile cost will be increasing. With the 4 GB RAM, you are going with, let it be, you will get a mobile in 10,000. If you are going for 8 GB RAM means you will get in 20,000. So based on your resource capitalization, the increases also happening. So in coming to the server wise, how we are doing virtualization. So the virtualization basically it will be happening into the, let it be, these are the your physical server. This is your physical server. Like 2 TB of hard disk. Okay, let it be 16 GB of RAM. So on top of that, we are enhancing, we are creating the kind of, we are creating the VMware. We are creating the VMware hypervisor. It's something like one of the software. So on top of that, what I'm going to do it, I'm going to create a number of servers. So number of servers I'm going to create into the, like server 1, let it be it's a Windows, let it be this is a capacity of 2 GB and 20 GB hard disk. Okay, and the second thing is that server 2 and it's a Linux OS. Okay, it's a 4 GB of RAM and 20 GB of hard disk. Okay, third one is that server 3 and it's a Mac OS. Okay, so it is the, let it be 5 GB of RAM, like 20 GB of hard disk. So the thing is that how the things will be happening here. the entire physical resources they are creating as a one of the virtual layer. This virtual layer take care of the responsibility and it will deliver the opportunities to the virtual missions. For example, this virtual mission is going to be take up and this virtual mission is going to be created on the top of this virtual layer. So we are not bothering about the physical mission here, the capacity and all. On top of that, whatever the capacity is needed, we are creating. So in real time, what exactly the operations will be happening. So for example, when the customer is needed, based on the customer need, whether you are going for the physical server or you are going with the virtual server. For example, a customer has said that, no, I don't want all this stuff and done. I have my college website. Otherwise, I have a basic support is needed or some student basic information is needed. I don't want virtualization and all. I will go with a physical mission. Then that is a fine. You go with a physical mission. Why be problem? Nahi? When there is a small company, for example, you are looking for you started a one Zomato type or you started some small entrepreneur shop or anything. In the time, you are little bit bothering about your server resources. Whenever you are bothering about the resources, whenever you are going for the performance, then there is an amount you need to spend it. For example, the same mobile concept, if we don't want to bother, if we are using for the only calling purpose means, then we can go with the calling purpose normal mobile only, right? Our end of the show will be completing 1300 or 2000 or less than or 1000 rupees only. My work is completed. Whenever I am looking for the some support, for example, मुझे quality अच्छा रहना, I need a better quality, I need a performance, I need to have a WhatsApp, I need to have a some kind of mail concept, I need to watch the movies, I need to send the messages. Okay, there is a whenever the needs are increasing, the resources capacity also increase, and obviously the end of the show the cost also increasing, right? So that is the reason the companies still we are using physical servers. Still most of the companies are running on HP and Cisco boxes, HP boxes, and there is a multiple hardware. Still we are running the show. Why means that is a need. People are, it's a totally based on your requirement. Money gathering will be there. So that is a need based on my requirement. I am going with the resource allocation. So that's the same way people are still planning and still executing hardwares, all the physical, virtual, cloud also. Okay. So this is a way how the virtual will be placing. So here what exactly we learn into the VMware course. So basically we are concentrating on, okay, how the virtual layer we need to create, how the virtual machines we are creating, how the number of different OS we are installing, and the primary thing is that we need to focusing on resources. How we can use resources properly. Second thing is that how can we do workaround? Workaround means what? Like vMotion, okay, clone, snapshots, or DR activities. Okay, so maybe, and not only that one, we are bothering about user management also. User management into the VM also very primary. We don't want to give the allocation to everyone. I don't want to give the access to the everyone. I'm bothering about, okay, I need to give the access to only few persons or like that. And I'm concentrating on data store. Data store is nothing but exactly storage area we are creating from data store, from data store how to create servers. Okay, so that is also we are going to learn upon. And then not only that one, we are going to some other topics also. For example, how to expand data store, and working with templates and we are working with the clusters also. Cluster setup, okay, and vMotion. So vMotion topics, how we can move the servers from the vMotion and all the other things and all. For example, like a delete, like add, delete, okay, modify, okay, resources, and how we need to access from the command line also. So that is all the things we are going to cover up. How to work with the resource wise. In resources, what are the things I need to take care? What are the operations I need to cover? Everything I need to be bothered. I am working upon parallelly. So this is a way I will be concentrating on, especially into the VMware side. Any doubts, Ram?
No, actually, it's okay. And I have one question came into my mind that
Okay.
for as per my query, my like suppose a company
Hmm.
decided to go to the virtualization,
Okay.
go to the virtualization, and when they thought that our company go to the virtualization, they purchase the high-end server and creating the virtualization, and when they purchase the servers, automatically some other resources also be needed, for maintaining hire a employee and AC, electricity, all those things. Uh, and the other hand, if the company go to the only cloud, any cloud, so it is not required any purchase anything. Just they just go to the cloud, take the instance, and using the virtual PC, and there is no any required for to purchase anything. Just only need only for high end internet. Only internet if any person have the internet, they can use the any cloud resource. So why the company go to the move to the in virtual environment in their own premises? This is
Yeah.
my question.
So, for example, just think of that you have a bank. There is just take the few scenarios. Let it be you are having a, let it be one consultancy, otherwise, one recruiting consultancy, or let it be some university. Okay, you can take the university.
Okay.
For example, I'm having the university. My requirement is that I need to create a website. My requirement is that usually, especially on admission time or result time, I will establish the some of the changes like a results, admission, some information. Just I created for the purpose of there is a one website is there. Just I want to give the information to the student purpose. I'm not doing a lot of actions. For example, I'm not collecting any information. I'm not asking anything to upload the data. Something like that I'm not doing. So in this requirement, what the people are doing, okay, my requirement is that concentrating on website only, right? I don't want to spend a lot of amount on clusters, clouds and all. That is my based on my wellness, right? For example, मेरा brand है, I have a good brand, okay, I want to do it, okay, blah blah blah, then people are going for cloud. That is your wish, okay. For example, you have instead of university you have a one college only, people are going with the basic, okay, this is what I can go with that one. I don't want high end and all. Simply in GoDaddy I will take the one domain, I will create a Just I will hire the one guy or someone to admin. Okay, I will create a website. Whenever there is a need, okay, I will ask them to do the modification. In that time, I'm not going with the virtualization. I'm going with a simply one standalone mission only. In the same architecture, for example, you started a one small, let it be one food court or any kind of the stuff. Okay, in that time, you were bothering about the, let it be you started a one KFC franchise or you taken a franchise from someone. In the time is a very big factor. When time come into the picture, the resource utilization is a primary factor, right? Okay, whenever you are pressing on a bell, immediately you are getting information means inside the resources will be working fastly, right? So immediately what the people do, okay, I don't want to wait the customer. Time is a measure for me. Okay, in the time people are going with a, okay, whether standalone or VMware. Okay, that is one of the thing. Otherwise, as I said, you right, when you're going with a banking time or those type of the areas, most of the bank is they are setting into the servers into those environment. Why means the one of the major problem into the cloud means data is not in our hold. Okay, for example, customer data is there. Customer data where you are storing some data center, but the where the data center is there, Amazon data center, somewhere in his control only, not our control, right? For example, WhatsApp data is there, Netflix data is there, let it be Aadhaar card data is there. If they share the information to the outside the people, there is a lot of mislead is going to be happen. So that is the reason people are not going for the virtually nothing but what you call cloud environment full
Public.
fledgedly. Okay,
Okay.
so
Yes.
I'm setting in the VMware, I'm setting in the physical hardware, I'm going with my own only. Whatever the things I'm going with the cloud, based on the requirement, I'm going with like a load balancing kind of the stuff. So it totally depending upon your business need.
Need.
Okay,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
that is what. That is the reason still VMware is there. Still we are using the desktop, laptops. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yes.
going
Yes.
there. Is anything, Lakshmi, you understand, bro? Any doubts?
No, as of now, no, bro.
Okay, so
I'll good.
okay. Actually, Lakshmi is having the experience. I can call you as a Lakshmi, right, or any specific?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Good.
So he's already into the VMware. Okay. So he have the some of the knowledge and experience. He's already working into some of the roles.
Oh, that means I am lucky. If I face any problems, I can ask you as well as Lakshmi also.
Yeah. He's already working on that one, some
Okay.
of
Okay.
the
That's
areas
good. That's good. That's
that
good.
will be helpful for him. Okay.
Okay.
So the thing is that this is the need of the resources. That is the majorly we started the VMware concept. Okay. So whenever there is a whenever there is a resources will come into the picture. Okay. So being admin, we always need to be monitor our VMware architectures, VMware servers. Okay. Usually lot of operating system persons, whoever will be depending upon these servers in real time, everyone they will come and even knock the door. Okay, whether server is down or not accessible or real time, you will get expansion of the resources, modification of the properties, okay, data storage, nothing but usually most of the companies in real time, whenever they are performing any kind of the patching or any kind of any activity, any kind of peripheral changes, configuration changes, the primary aspect is that if that is a VMware server, ask them to take the snapshot. That is one of the major thing it's supposed to be happen prerequisites, because if something is happen means we can boot up from the snapshot wise. So usually in this way you will get a requirement into the different level of based on your level creation, modification, snapshots, cloning. I will go in deeper of snapshot and cloning later on in practically cloning, and there is a kind of data sources like data state modifications and deletion of the VMs, especially whenever we are creating the servers, there is no need we are deleting the server also. So that process also we are doing. Everything we are performing most of the times from the graphical user interface only. There is a few set of the times we can perform from the command line also. We can run the show from the command line also, but 99% of the time, most of the times people are running with the graphical user, especially ESXi boxes only. Sometimes if the graphical user is disabled means we are going with the command line interface. That is basically the agenda how it will be moving on. Okay. Okay. So then if we go to our topics, server virtualization, storage virtualization, network virtualization. Okay. So what is basically this virtualization come into the picture? Let me go to that. Let me share my screen.
And in this course content is some patching or troubleshooting related topic will be covered or not?
No, everything will be covered.
Okay.
I said you right. So, for example, whenever we are creating any virtual machines or whenever we are performing any kind of activity, okay, I will help you out how we are going to the actions in real time also. Okay, for example, how we are performing, okay, like patching activities, how we are performing any kind of the modifications, okay, and a kind of migration activities. So everything I'm going to be cover upon practically. Okay, so everything we are going step by step. All these 15 topics will be a collection of everything will be there. Nothing but how we are doing clusters, okay, templates and modification, roles, SSOs, and everything and the storage level. All that storage we are going to touch upon. So everything we are going by one, including the backups also and physical to virtual conversations. Nothing but if you want to convert any physical server to virtual server, how you are doing, what is the process will be there, and what is the methodology will be there. Like most of the companies, okay, now people are going for physical to virtual and physical to cloud also. Okay, that is a lot of the if you are part of the migration team means usually this is the one of the major step you are going to getting upon. So how it will be happening, what are the process will be there, and in real time what are the things we are doing directly, everything I will going to explain. Okay, so let me go to the first topic. So first of all, server virtualization. So what exactly the server virtualization? So as I said, the virtualization can be starting from the server. So if you're going to the basically architecture, the architecture it's clearly defined that whenever we are performing the physical server, let it be the physical device, we are converted into number of virtual servers. For example, here 1, 2, 3, 4 number of virtual servers I created. So here the major thing is that how I am going to take up the things. Okay. For example, these servers will be how I need to create and what are the partitions will be there and the process. The server virtualization uses the software to divide a single physical virtualization to multiple virtualizations. So every architecture, whether you are creating any kind of resources, whether the storage or network or the RAM, whatever it may be, you are creating on top of the one physical hardware only. On top of this hardware, you are creating the virtual hardware. So this is one of the major advantage. So this is one of the major advantages into the cloud environment. And the thing is that so why it is happening is, as I said, right, it's a better hardware utilization, reduce the cost, and easier testing and development, and simplified backups. So we don't need to bother about the resource utilization, whether how much of the capacity it is. We are using to the almost every single drop. Nothing but we don't want to left over any resources. How much of our need is there? We can create and dynamically we can allocate and dynamically we can expand the things we can perform. So that is one of the major advantages of the virtualization. So ultimately, the physical hardware we are converting into the number of parts of the virtual servers. The storage virtualization is one of the major aspect. Okay, here also we are going to touch upon whatever the storage is there. The storage also we are doing into the multiple places. Nothing but we are sharing. That is we are calling as a, later on we can understand that is a data store. So this data store is one of the, it is a kind of the virtual storage. This virtual storage we are creating on top of this particular VMware hypervisor. This hypervisor will be, we are connecting. So we can create a multiple data stores. This data stores based on, for example, some of the companies, most of them we are having a different projects. For example, just we are taking the bank, we have a financial, okay, we are marketing. So we have a nothing but any kind of storage. There is a lot of small departments are there. What exactly they are planning to do it? All the financial things are need to store into the particular data store. Means particular storage area. All the marketing, otherwise all the other financial or CEO and some of the manager information need to store into particular thing. Nothing but one physical storage area we are converted into multiple small data stores. From there we are allocating the individually or parallelly the data parallelly we are creating. So usually we are having the block level and file level. So any knowledge in the block level and file level? Any idea? What is a block level? What is a file level?
No.
Okay, Lakshmi, do you have any idea what is a block level, file level?
No, bro.
So block level means simply we can think of that. This physical vision will be having the one hardware, right? Let it be one hard disk. This physical machine will be having the one hard disk. This hard disk, okay, for example, our laptop is there. Our laptop will be consisting of one hard disk. That hard disk directly we cannot access. Do we access directly without operating system? No, right? We need an operating system. We need a operating system to access. For example, whether you are using the 2 TB or 20 TB, 30 TB, whatever may be the capacity, you need to be access your hardware means there is a one mediator will be there. This hardware, especially, it is not understanding the human language. It will be going into the like a binaries, ones and zeros. So the block level data storage is nothing but like a LUN. Okay, our hard disk. On top of that, what we are doing, we are creating the LUNs. We are creating the number of LUNs and we are allocating to the server. For example, let it be I am allocating the number of LUNs on top of this. So all the LUNs I am allocating to the one to server. This LUN will be now human readable format, but they need an operating system. That is the reason, Ram, whenever we are using in Linux, right? Once LUN came, obviously what we are doing, we are mounting the device, right, to the operating system.
Yes.
Once we are mounting to the device, then only we can store the data. Okay. If you're going to the Windows operating system also, for example, you can see that this is my hardware let it be my hardware is some capacity. On top of my hardware, what I'm doing, I'm creating the number of directories, number of devices. For example, C drive, D drive, E drive, number of drives I'm creating as per the name, whether 1 or 1 plus, whatever it may be. So once the drive is created, then I'm in a position to store the data inside of that. So the initial stage of hard disk level we are calling as a block level. The block level is totally functionality will be happening ones and zeros. Second thing is that it will be happening the data only with the help of operating system only. So that is the reason whenever the VMware guys creating the LANs, okay, the Linux guys will be creating like a VZ, LV, PV and attaching mounting to the one directory. So that is the, but block level we won't get any kind of that much of response, nothing but we can use it, nothing but our hard disk is there directly, we cannot connect it, we need to use the operating system. So what is the, that is we are calling as a SAN. Okay, what is a NAS? NAS is a nothing but on top of network area. For example, on top of my Windows, okay, so what I'm doing, I'm creating the one directory. Inside of one thing, I'm creating the one directory and I'm using the things under. In the same way, how we are using, nothing but in servers also we are creating the directories, or we are creating, so now we are using the NFS, right? Remember NFS, Samba, file systems. Okay,
Yes.
so these are the calling as a NAS devices, nothing but in Windows also we have a shared devices. When you are going to the internet centers and all, what the people are doing, they are creating the shared devices. When you want to take the printout and all, they are mentioning that, okay, place your all the documents into the particular directory, I can give the printout from his machine. How he is accessing, there is a one kind of connectivity they are establishing in on particular LAN area. So that is the same concept here also. SAN is a basically block level, and here file level is a nothing but we can touch and feel. For example, in my directory I can create a directory, I can store the data, I can delete the data, I can read it, I can modify it, means I am able to connect to the data, that is we are calling as a file level. It is happening on top of the file level. So this is happening on top of this file level. Here the data will be, we are creating and accessing, so that will be user can actually connect and he can perform the data. So that is what the storage level. So what is a network level?
File level we can take example that Google Drive, OneDrive also example of the file level.
Google drives, whichever you are touch and feel. For
Yeah.
example, all the drive. So if you're coming to the Windows, leave it about the Google Drive. So these are the drives, all file level only.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Okay.
whichever I can feel it, I can touch it, I can modify it, whether that is a directory or that is a drive, whatever it may be. Okay, when coming to the Linux, okay, whatever the mount points or whatever the files you are creating, or NFS, Samba, whatever the files, everything will be coming as a file level. Okay, so next one is that network virtualization. So what exactly the network virtualization? So obviously when going to the network level also, so if you're going to the again architecture, the architecture will be having the again hard disk and the RAM, and network also I need to be virtualized, right? Every system I am creating the one network devices, particular VLAN or something I am creating, I am allocating the particular thing, nothing but for example I am allocating the particular thing to the server. For example, let it be this is connecting to this one, and let it be this network is here, or these two networks are separately I am creating. Okay, so based on the client need, we are creating a number of, nothing but most of the times whenever going with a server is down, okay, whenever we are performing vMotion, or whenever we are performing any migration or any kind of activities, some network devices will be going to be down. What the people will do, first of all they are going to check the connectivity of VNet or particular virtual net. What is the store, what is the capacity of the net, whether is any changes are happen, how we can check it out, and what are the possibilities we need to check it out, and each and everything we are going practically. But the thing is that in network level also we are converting into the one physical network into the number of virtual network. So this virtual network will be serving as per the need of client, as per the need of some. For example, you people are using the VPNs, right? Most of the companies people are using the VPN. For example, let it be you joined to the one company, you are holding the environment or laptop of the particular company. So whenever you are having the client to the particular company, if you want to access the client data, means what the people are using, you are connecting to the Cisco Connect, right? Cisco Connect, Net Mask, and different type of the things are there. So what is the those are things? Those are the private zones or specific zones. For example, if I want to access the customer data, I need to go inside of that network. How it will be possible? The network guy will be adding the IP or port number of my details. Whoever will be valid persons, they are going to provide the details. They are allowing the users. Then only I can able to log into the Cisco. I can connect to the servers or whatever makes the user environment in real time. That's the same way we are also performing the in real time also. Here also what we are going to do it in practically in from physical server, how to create a virtual servers, virtual networks, virtual storage, everything. What are the possibilities, what are the things, and what are the do's and don'ts. Especially the thing is that since we have access, it doesn't mean that we can create it. When you are going to the production environment, if you created any network without approval means there is a chance you can lose the job. Okay, whenever you are performing any kind of activity, whether it's a production stage or anything, you need to get a proper approval by mail, by ticket, or by something. For example, you want to do some kind of modification into the server. Let it be RAM increasing, otherwise port level, some patches you need to implement, or there is some kind of the ports you need to be down and up. Whatever may be the issue it is, everything you need to have approval. So that is the reason production environment we are not touching, whether until unless we are clear, and we are touching only into the standard proper timings only. And means, for example, what exactly we are saying, proper approval we are going to get it, and we are downloading, and we are performing in the same way only we are doing. Okay, so that is the way we are performing the things. So usually, like we can create a switches, we can create a LAN, we can create a NIC. So what is a switch? Any idea? How can we define the switch?
Switch, switch is the device where the network is distributed from to the different PCs.
Yeah, it's a kind of the router type. Nothing but in a switch will be what exactly we'll doing. For example, if we take to our houses only, if you take on the broadband connection, whether Airtel or Geo, whatever it may be, or usually DTH also, what exactly will happen? There is a one major line will be coming to the our home, and it is connecting to the our Wi-Fi router or some devices. From there, let it be it's connecting to our Wi-Fi router. From that Wi-Fi router, okay, the data will be going for sharing. For example, in my home, only one router is there. Let it be most of the companies or most of the apartments, what the people are doing, they are connecting one master, one slave also. Okay, two more routers, one primary router, and again another bedroom or another hall, they are connecting another router also. Means from this router, they are connecting one more line as a master and slave. So the virtual switch will be transferring the traffic from the source, whatever they are getting. Okay, it's something like that. For example, your father is working, and what exactly he will do? Whatever he is earning, he is using for the family. Okay, wife this much. Okay, for kids this much. They're sharing the efforts to their family. In the same way, the switch will be collecting the information from the source, what exactly the information packets we are receiving, that converted that sharing to the across the network. So it is we are using for the transferring purpose, nothing but a sharing mechanism. The LAN is nothing but in between. If you want to connect the number of private channels, number of resources, for example, usually some colleges labs are there. What the people are doing, they were connecting all the little bit, some 10 servers are there, 20 servers are laptops are there, everything they are creating as a one LAN. Means whenever there is a LAN is there, if you want to perform the any data activity, data transfers, everything you can connect by LAN, because everyone into the proper channel only. So that is the reason LAN will be local area network will be going to be established. Second thing is that NIC. NIC is nothing but from server level, every server will be holding a one IP address and MAC. If you want to allocate IP address and MAC means you need to have a network device, because we are identifying the network device with a particular IP and host name. In the same way, what exactly I am doing? For that, I am creating the one virtual network. Everything will be starting with V, virtual switch, virtual LAN, virtual network. Everything we can have to be imagined, and we are seeing the things only, but practically it is not like we cannot visible into the practically. Virtually we are transferring the data, creating the things and managing. Okay, so what is the benefits? The benefits is that scalability, isolation, security, because whenever we are creating the switches and all, as I said you earlier, whenever there is a Cisco concept is there, VPN concept is there. But the primary aspect is that we can combine the group set of the people into the combinedly we can perform the thing. In the same way, here also we are clubbing and we are performing. We don't want to be inject the new person. We don't want to be accept the new person until unless there is a need or there is a proper approval, then only we are approving. So in that time, whoever will be defined into the particular network, they are only having the access. New other IPs, new other users not able to log into the environment. That is one of the major advantage here. Third thing is that okay, data store. So as I said, you right, data store is again storing of the data. So storage location of VM, hypervisor like ESXi means for example, in the same way we are creating into the one storage area. That storage area we are creating. So the data store will be act like a. So that is act like our LAN. If you want to say that our local area network. Sorry, logical unit number. So it will be installing on top of that. We are from there we are in the server. So here we have some of the terminologies like a VMDK, VMX, IOS and snapshots. These are the things we are performing, and like we have a vSAN, we have NFS, we have a VMFS. I'm going to cover up this into the practically whenever we are doing, so we can understand better. Nothing but so ultimately the data store we are going to use it for the storing of the data purpose. From the data store only, if you have the data store only, you can create the LAN, because the storage area is very much needed whenever you are creating the LAN. From here we are going to create the LAN. So next one is that VMFS file system. So this VMFS file system is that whenever we are creating any VMware, automatically the file system will be creating in the form of VMFS, virtual management file system. Okay, this is something like that. Whenever we are creating in Windows, we are going to get it from the NTFS file system or FAT file system, like right. In the same way, here also, whenever we are going to perform any kind of the activity, it will be going to be created into the same format. Okay, by using this one only, we can take the snapshot. We can use the multi-host. and vMotion. Nothing but we can perform the same view. So there is one more thing is there, thin versus thick disk provision. So any idea on this one? Thin and thick.
Thin and thick. No.
Thin, Lakshmi, you bro, have any idea?
Like any download files will be created.
Download
File.
Okay.
Hmm.
No, basically the thin and thick, there is a two types of the terminals will be there. Whenever provisioning means creation. Okay. Thin provisioning means allocate as needed, save the space, slightly slower. Thick is nothing but full space allocated and better performance. For example, most of the times, okay, thin and thick are the very basically we are using. For example, here you can clearly define that it will allocate the whenever there is so much of space is there, that much of only you can allocate it. But thick is something like it will allocate entire. For example, your hard disk is there. Your hard disk you are created entirely into 4 parts, or you are allocating some portion of area only. So in thin, what we are doing, for example, you created a RAM. Whenever we are creating the 20 GB LAN, okay, usually what we are doing, we are creating some PV, or we are creating what all 20 GB if we are allocating to the file system, okay, nothing is left over means it's something like that. Whenever in Windows also, when disk is created 20 GB, if everything I am allocating means it will be thick provisioning. Thin provisioning means I don't want to be allocate everything. I can use how much is needed. Let me I am using for some purpose only. Some 20 GB if I am taking means I will allocating some 10 GB only. If need means I can expand it later. So that time the thin provision will be coming to the picture. Means we can do the allocation and we can save the space slightly slower. Slower will be why means it will be little bit slow, right? Nothing but less space will be there. 20 GB you have a capacity, but you create a run for the 10 GB only. Maybe that is not as per the expectation means it will going to be slow. Okay. The same way, most of the times, whenever we are creating, we are going with the thin provisioning. If you want to do changes, when the client is looking for the specific things, don't create the thin or make it show thick. Then we are going with the thick provisioning. Okay. So this is majorly 1 or 2 classes will be theory session will be there. Little bit will be browsers. Okay. Know how to download the software?
Yeah, bro.
Okay. So I will share you the software details also. Because if you go to the software means it will be little bit we can understand better way. Okay. So first of all we need to go to here. Okay. And we need to sign up, register. Okay. So Ram, I think you haven't registered, right? Yeah, till now.
Yeah, I already download the SXI version 8.
Oh, you already downloaded, right? Then
Yes,
that's well and good. Okay, if we are downloaded means then that is then we are good into the situation. Nothing but we have. And what about Lakshmi? You downloaded the latest version, huh? Yes, XI 8 version.
No, at now, bro. No.
Okay, I will show you just how to navigate. Okay, so you need to log in, and here you need to go to the VMware and the dashboards. I will share you the video of that one also. And you need to go to the downloads. And here you need to select the VMware, show results. You need to click on here because we are going with a free version only. Okay, we don't want to go with unnecessarily payment related stuff. Okay, majorly you need to download this one, bro, like a VMware for one workstation and the hypervisor. Two things you need to download. Okay, these two things you need to download. This hypervisor will be version of 8 version will be there, 8e something. If you click on here, this one, just you need to go click on and you need to download. And this one, it will be 17 version. 17 version will be there. You need to go here, okay, and go for the Linux, the 17 version. So basically you need to register yourself, and after that here also you need to provide some sort of details. For example, usually we will get here one pop-up button for allow, so that you need to allow. Since I already registered, usually it will ask you your details, username, generally your address, some sort of details. Randomly you can give anything, not a genuine one. Once you click on the checkbox means you will get a download option. So once it's a downloaded means automatically we can access the things. So these are the two is a mandatory. So this workstation we are accessing from the outside, okay, and after that this server will be ESXi server will be we are accessing from on top of the virtual machine. Here virtual ESXi we are installing. So these are the things it will go into we are working upon. Okay, for example, if you can show that, let it be, this is my virtual server. Let me shut down. I'll show you. So Ram, have you installed the VMware right already?
Yes, yes.
And ESXi?
Yes, yes.
Oh, ESXi also installed.
Yes.
But so fast. Lakshmi, you installed the ESXi?
No, no.
Okay. So download the software. Once you download the software, again that is the same process. Create a new virtual machine. Here you need to select your ESXi, whatever it may be there, and you need to select next, and here you need to define a name, and here some minimum 40 GB or something you need to give, then only it will be better. Make it as a single. Okay, I will share you the video for that one. Okay, make it as a 40 GB space and go to the next, and here that is always a better you are going with your process will be dual. Okay, and the memory will be minimum some 3 to 4 GB is the minimum is required. And the next thing is that make sure that whenever you are going with the processor, it should two processor will be there and memory will be some space. And after that, okay, make sure that here the options are properly, nothing but connect on power on, and it should be NAT, and these are the things majorly. Primarily it should be updated. So once it's done, okay, once you click on finish means the VMware version will be automatically it is installed. Okay, it will take you to some of the other steps also. Okay, so let me click on finish. So this is VMware I'm installing Linux machine, but from here we can install the same ESXi also. ESXi. Create a virtual machine, and here I need to select the disk. Okay, just you select and you try it. I missed the download one. Okay, I will share you the video for that one, bro. How to install that one. So once you install your ESXi, it will be load like this. I will give the step-by-step process. I will share you the video for you. Okay, it will come like this. ESXi will be loading. Once it's loaded, so hardly it will take some 5 minutes of the time or load the thing. So once it's loaded, you will get the one IP address. From that IP address, we can access from the anywhere. Yeah, you can see that. So once it's loaded, the graphical view will be you will get an IP address like this: 192.168.186.135. So we can access from anywhere from the your browser. 192.166.186.135. So on here, proceed. So when you are going to set up, in the moment of the time, it will ask you to create a password also. So that same password we need to use. So this is the way of your ESXi will be. The view will be like this. Here it will be consisting of hosts. A host is defining that your physical server where you are going to be created, and what is exactly the version of this one, and what exactly the status of this one, and how many days it's up. So usually here it will list you out the basic information of your server related stuff. Here you can go into create a number of action. For example, if you want to provide means, you can do the lot of action here. So we can able to do the connect, or we can perform the other actions also. Okay, so this is the one way, and here I will show you one by one later. Okay, and here we can go in the permissions and login mechanism, and what are the services will be there. You can enable the console. If you want to enable means, we can enable the consoles, and we can perform the actions. Not only that one, we have to do some sort of permissions also, and reboot, create, dismiss, everything we are going to touch upon. And meanwhile, left side we can see that, okay, so there is a manage button will be there. So the manage button will be the consisting of what is your hardware, what is your licensing, and packages it is there, and what are the services are there, and the security and everything will be adaptively it is information. So in real time also service is listing out here in the same way. So this is the option of monitor. If you want to monitor your things automatically, usually in real time, this monitor will be connecting to the your monitoring tool. So what is our monitoring tool? Most of the companies will be having HPOV or some other monitoring tool like Nagios and different type of the monitoring tools will be there. So whenever there is a hike or whenever there is a issue into the resource wise, automatically it will create a monitoring tool, one alert, like what exactly the hardware it is, okay, and there is some sort of the storage related events. The events is nothing but a something major wherever we can find the event informations and task, logs, notification. So these are the different information. This is what we call the data store. The capacity, how much of free is there, what is the type of the file system, and each and everything we are going to get upon. So this is related to the network. This is basically the view of the your ESXi. Okay. Any doubts, guys? Till now, we haven't went to the